Babaji is depicted as an ageless yogi with profound spiritual insights and extraordinary powers. According to the narrative, Babaji is not bound by the normal constraints of time and space. The encounter with Babaji serves as a transformative experience for Yogananda.
That too not from direct sunlight, from mirrored light. If you stand outside and mirror the sunlight inside, using that light through a magnifying glass, he would make the bird come alive. Every yogi who is into certain kind of process will have a lamp burning next to him, an oil lamp. So, he dipped his finger into the oil and put it into the dead boy's mouth.
Before we talk about the occult powers of Indian mystics, let's first watch Sadhguru's video.
Once the body has been shed, once the legs have fallen, you cannot walk. Dead man cannot walk, isn't it? But that's not true. We can make them walk. The tantric sciences in India, this is their whole thing, to make a dead man walk. The corpses walk in the tantric rituals. There have been many, but one has been historically recorded. There was a yogi, there have been many like this, there still are. There was a yogi who had mastered what is known as Surya Sparsh. That means Sparsh? Okay, touch, okay, contact or touch. So, this is like the solar touch. There is a certain type of yoga called Surya Sparsh. So, he mastered this. This was a bong. What's a bong? A Bengali. So, he lived in Varanasi and he periodically went to his guru and learnt different steps of this and was mastering this step by step. So, any number of times he displayed this in public, that if you bring a bird, a dead bird, which has been checked by everybody, it's for sure a dead bird, not a bird which is acting dead. A really dead bird, if it died within the last 3 hours, it's gone rigid. You know, within 3 hours a bird goes stiff. The rigor mortis sets in for a bird much quicker than for a human body. Because a bird has the blood temperature, the body temperature of a bird is much, much higher than that of a human body. So, the way it cools down and how soon the rigor mortis sets in is much quicker in a bird's body than in a human body. So, 3 hours after the bird is dead, if you brought a bird to him with a simple magnifying glass, that too not from direct sunlight, from mirrored light. If you stand outside and mirror the sunlight inside, using that light through a magnifying glass, he would make the bird come alive. It would chirp, it would sit up, it would walk and it would fly. It would fly around for some time and then collapse and die again. So when people said, why can't you make it live? He said, this is all I know. My guru can make this happen. I am still learning, but he was already close to 70 years of age at that time. To his misfortune, it so happened, a 7-year-old boy of the local Islamic conquest had already happened. A Muslim king's son, who was 7 years of age, died of some unexplained fever. So they had heard of this man bringing a bird alive. They came to him and said, "Come and try, and our king's son." One thing was, he would never try it outside the presence of his deity. He had a small deity and a shrine. Outside the shrine, he would never try such a thing. He would practice it only in the shrine. He said, "I will not do such things outside the view of my deity." They have no value for the deity because according to them it's idolatry. It's an energy form that he's created and with that he works. They said, "This deity, God damn it, we'll take it. We'll take it to the palace." He said, "No, no, it cannot be moved." He said, "It can be moved." And they just picked it up. He cried, "Don't do this." And when they picked it up and this was happening, they were trying to drag him, he said, "I'm not going to come. I will not do it. I am not going to do this." He got angry when they picked up the deity and taking it out like it's some kind of a toy. He said, "I'm not going to bring your king's son to life. Even if I could, I cannot, but even if I could, I will not do it." Then they held him by the hair and dragged him to the king and he said, "I'm not going to do it." So they butchered him right there. And in the process of doing all this, they dropped the deity and it broke. So he had a few disciples to whom he was imparting this. It died with them, everything. But this has been clearly recorded by very responsible people that actually any number of times he did this, that he would make a dead bird which is dead for over 3 hours to actually get up and fly for a substantial period of time, that is, more than an hour's time. And he repeatedly said, "My Guru can make this bird live for its full length of life, whatever that is. And my Guru can even do it to a human being." There have been any number of such people. There was another yogi in South India. So usually they don't… This is a kind of a fringe yogi, this bird yogi. This is a fringe yogi, this is not the mainstream. This is a mainstream yogi. So people were coming to him for blessings and things were happening around him so much. He lived in Karnataka, in south-western Karnataka or south, somewhere near Kollegal. And people were gathering around him. One day it so happened, a young boy who died. The parents brought this boy and cried their hearts out. So, he looked at their plight and probably he sensed that the boy need not have died, it's more accidental in nature. So he dipped his finger, there was a lamp like this next to him. It is generally there, almost every yogi who is into certain kind of process will have a lamp burning next to him, an oil lamp. So, he dipped his finger into the oil and put it into the dead boy's mouth. And the boy came alive after some time and became perfectly all right.
Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda is a spiritual classic that recounts the life and experiences of Yogananda himself. The book is known for its vivid storytelling and the depiction of miraculous events. Here are the few notable stories from the autobiography. The Tiger Swami. During his college days in Calcutta, Yogananda encounters a peculiar and eccentric fellow student known as the Tiger Swami. The Tiger Swami, whose real name is given as Pranab Ananda, claims to have been a tiger in a past life and often displays behaviors that mimic the characteristics of a tiger. He crawls, roars, and even consumes raw meat. Despite these eccentricities, the Tiger Swami is highly intelligent and engages in philosophical discussions with his fellow students. He presents his views on life, nature, and the interconnection between humans and animals. The story provides a touch of humor and satire, offering a unique perspective on the diversity of spiritual expressions, unconventional ways in which individuals might express their spiritual beliefs. Yogananda describes how the Tiger Swami's unconventional behavior challenges societal norms and prompts reflection on the nature of true spirituality, which transcends external appearances. The resurrection of Yukuteshwar. The narrative unfolds after the passing of Swami Sri Yukuteshwar, Yogananda's beloved guru and spiritual guide. Yogananda describes the intense grief he experiences following his guru's departure from the physical realm. In the midst of his mourning, Yogananda is visited by a vision of Sri Yukuteshwar, who appears in a luminous and ethereal form. In this vision, Sri Yukuteshwar explains the mysteries of life, death, and afterlife, offering profound insights into the nature of soul's journey. The vision is not merely a subjective experience but is portrayed as a direct communication from the realized master, providing Yogananda with guidance and wisdom beyond the ordinary understanding of mortality. Sri Yukuteshwar's teaching in this vision emphasized the cyclical nature of life and death, the reality of the astral and causal realms, and the soul's evolution through various planes of existence. The story reaches its climax with Sri Yukuteshwar revealing that he has achieved the state of Nirbhikalpa Samadhi, a state of oneness beyond all dualities, and that he has willingly taken on a cosmic task or Mahasamadhi to serve humanity from higher realms. The vision concludes with Sri Yukuteshwar imparting a final blessing and disappearing into the divine light. The Royal Rejuvenation Miracle. The story takes place in the court of a princely state in India, where a king is aging and his health is deteriorating. The royal family seeks the help of a yogi to rejuvenate the king and restore his vitality. The yogi, who possesses advanced knowledge of yogic techniques, agrees to help. He arrives at the palace and performs a series of mysterious and sacred rituals. During the ritual, the yogi transfers spiritual energy and vitality to the king, revitalizing his body and mind. The atmosphere in the palace is described as charged with spiritual power, and the king undergoes a profound transformation. The rejuvenation process is depicted as a miraculous event, with the king appearing visibly younger and experiencing a renewal of strength and vigor. The king, now revitalized, expresses gratitude to the yogi for the miracle that has taken place. The story serves to illustrate the profound healing potential of yogic practices and the understanding that spiritual energy can influence physical well-being. The story also conveys the idea that the true purpose of yogic practices extends beyond mere physical healing and includes spiritual awakening and transformation. Meeting Mahavatar Babaji. Yogananda describes his arduous journey to find a true guru, which leads him to the legendary Mahavatar Babaji in the Himalayas. Babaji is depicted as an ageless yogi with profound spiritual insights and extraordinary powers. According to the narrative, Babaji is not bound by the normal constraints of time and space. The encounter with Babaji serves as a transformative experience for Yogananda. Babaji imparts spiritual teachings emphasizing the importance of self-realization and the oneness of all religions. Lahiri Mahasaya, Yogananda's guru's guru and a key figure in the Kriya Yoga tradition, is said to have demonstrated the power of levitation during a gathering. Yogananda describes how Lahiri Mahasaya, in a state of deep meditation, rises into the air, defying gravity. This event serves to illustrate the advanced yogic practices and states of consciousness attainable through Kriya Yoga. The levitation incident is presented as a display of yogic's mastery over the physical body and the laws of nature. Yogic control over life forces. The book shares stories of yogis who have achieved mastery over their life forces allowing them to transcend normal bodily functions. Some yogis in the book are said to live without the need for food, sustaining themselves through spiritual energy gained from meditation and yogic practices. These accounts highlight the idea that yogis can attain a state of heightened awareness and control over physiological process. Yogananda's journey to the West. Yogananda's narrative shifts to his experiences in the United States, where he faces the challenges of introducing Eastern spiritual teachings to a Western audience. The book recounts Yogananda's interactions with individuals in the West, including Theresa Newman, a stigmatic mystic. These encounters illustrate cultural differences and the varying responses to Eastern spiritual concepts. Yogananda's mission in the West is presented as an attempt to share the universal principles of yoga and meditation with people of diverse backgrounds. These examples highlight the diversity of spiritual traditions and figures within India, each with its own interpretation of yogic practices and the potential for extraordinary experiences. It's crucial to approach such stories with an open mind and the understanding of the cultural, religious, and historical context in which they arise. Additionally, perspectives on these figures may vary widely, with some people embracing the teachings and others approaching them with skepticism.